Hi there, it's Jen. I'm here. I'm not live today, but I've had some surgery recently, and so I can't be live with you, but I still wanted to give you a video. So I recorded this ahead of time, and I hope that you enjoy. So let me just switch my camera around and show you what we're going to make today. Okay, so I'm using this stamp set here called Cake Fancy. It's in the mini catalog, and it's got this cute little cake pieces and all these flowers and some greetings. It's really quite a cute little stamp set that you might have missed at first look. So I'm going to start by building my cake slice. So I've got just here a scrap of paper, but I want it large enough because I'm going to use these dies on it. These are called the deckled circle dies, and I'm going to need it this big. So this is approximately, let's see here. This die is 3 inches across, so it needs to be at least 3.5 inches, I would say, in square. So the first thing I'm going to do is take the little berries, and I'm going to stamp those here. And then I'm also going to stamp them on my Post-it note, and I want to go down towards the sticky part. And I'm just going to close up that ink pad just because I'm a spaz and I don't want to drag myself through it. So I'm going to take the Post-it note. I like to cut out 2 at a time. These are called masks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take my paper snips scissors, and just cut around this. I don't care about the top part, just the bottom. So I'm just rough cutting that. And the reason I do it down at the sticky part is because then this is going to stick to my project. So I'm just cutting out this berry. Okay, and then you would take, get rid of all that. This, I'm going to peel it off. What I like to do is just stick them in my stamp case and keep them. So I'm just going to put the one on here. So I'm going to cover it up. That's why it's called a mask, because it's masking that. Okay, before I stamp the rest of this. So I'm going to start with pecan pie ink. And then I'm going to start with the top of the, I don't know if this is a cake slice or a pie slice. I think it's a really fancy cake pie. So I'm going to stamp this with pecan pie, and I'm going over that Post-it note, so I want to really just give it a second to absorb. And then I'm going to peel that off, and now it looks like the berries are sitting right on the very top of the cake. So I don't know if you can see that. So really cute. And there's a little bit of white there, which I'm going to show you what we're going to do after. So these little bits here, I'm just going to take them and I'm going to stick them right into my stamp case so that I can use them again. And I can use them as many times as I want until they don't stick anymore. Okay. All right, so next part of the cake piece is going to be a crumb cake. And I'm going to take this piece here. Now I love that this stamp set has built right into it a kind of, I'm going to pull this down so I can see it, kind of a variation in color. So I'm just looking for the top of the pie slice, and then I'm lining that image right up against it. So lining it right up. So look at that. You can sort of see there's shading in there. And I'll show you my sample. I actually turned it around the other way, so it doesn't really matter which way we have shading, but just the fact that there's shading there makes it more interesting looking, right? Makes it look a little bit more realistic. And while I have the pecan pie out, I'm also going to stamp my greeting. I've got a piece of crumb cake here, and this is just says birthday wishes. It comes in a set. Just a perfect little greeting. So I'm going to do that with pecan pie. I'm going to flip this over because I wanted to get it a bit darker. Okay. All right. Let's continue on here. So I'm using now Balmy Blue, and there was just something about this color combination that I really liked. The Balmy Blue and the Berry Burst and the neutral sort of colors. I just really like that combo. So again, just lining up. Sorry if you've seen the top of my head here, so that it looks like it's sitting on that platter. Look how cute that is. So adorable. Okay, so let's do some little cleanup here on this image. So let me hold this up again so you can see. So there's a little bit of white around the edges because I'm not going to get that Post-it note perfectly shaped around that's the berries. So I'm going to just take my, this is my light, no, it's my dark pecan pie marker. Well, that's fine. I originally used my light, but we'll use the dark. And I'm just going to go in, and wherever there's a little bit of white space, I'm going to just do a little bit of an outline around there. And I'm just going to fill it in, basically. So now let me hold that up, and you can see the difference. Now it really looks like it was stamped on top of there. So while I have this out, I'm also going to grab my Wink of Stella. Oops. This is a water-based ink, so it's dry immediately. I can touch it. But if you add anything that's a little bit wet, so I'm just going to do one. You can see it will basically make the ink bleed. So I'm hoping you can see the difference. This one now looks a little bit more colored because the ink has bled. So I'm just doing that on all the berries, so they just don't look as white, but they still have some definition. And then I'm actually just going to add the Wink of Stella to the rest of the berries so they kind of shine and glisten. That looks like a yummy piece of cake pie. So that. Okay, so I am going to get my machine and cut that out after. So I'm going to put it aside for now, and I'm going to work on this piece. So I've just got a scrap piece of paper here, and before I work on that piece, I'm just going to fold this in half, just so I don't get it dirty and get it out of the way. Okay, so on this piece, I'm going to take images from here. I took these 3 images and I put them together on a block. And I'm going to use that to do the background of the card. And I'm going to use Versamark, which is that clear ink. It's a bit sticky because you can use it for embossing. And I'm going to let it sit for a second because I want that to transfer over. Now it may be hard to see, but I'm going to hold this up in a second. What happens is it takes about a minute, maybe not even that long, for the ink to kind of appear. And it's very subtle. It's a watermark. That's actually, it says that right on here. A watermark stamp set. Watermark incoming. And if I wanted to, I could put embossing powder on here and emboss this. But this is just another nice feature of this stamp set. So let me hold this up so you can see. So you can see there's some faint outlines of those flowers. It's just a little subtle decoration in the background. Now, I'm not worrying so much about here because that's where my circle's going to go. But I see that there's a bit of a blank space here. So I'm going to go up there and get that. Just add a flower. I kind of just want there to not be any like blank edges. There's another one there. So that looks pretty good. It's just going to be subtle in the background with those flowers. So I've just pulled in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and then this deckled circle. And I'm going to lay this on here. And just so it doesn't move, I'm going to use my tape. This is my removable tape that I have from Amazon. If you go to Jenn Recommends on my website, which here I'll just put that up for a second. You can see that. Let's see here. Here we go. There's my website, stampwithjenn.com, and then go to the products and Jenn Recommends. You can see this. It's removable tape, and what I like about it is that it does not pull the paper when you pull it off. So I'm going to just use that to hold that die in place, and then I'm going to stick a plate over top and roll this through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Okay, and then I've got that perfect little die cut. So let me just put this machine out of the way. So there is the piece all done, and there's my background and my card base. And now I'm going to pull in some ribbon. So this is going to tie in the balmy blue. This is balmy blue and white ribbon. It's so pretty. It has like a blue strip that runs across it, and there is a right and a wrong side. You can see it from both sides, but it's more prominent on one of the sides. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to put a little bit of tape. Actually, I might as well tape the whole thing now too. Tape here. Run this about halfway. And I'm going to just fold that under and tuck like so. Take my ribbon scissors and trim that off. Okay, so that's the front. Just make sure it's straight. Now, I've got my card. Now, this card, I forgot to mention that I cut it hot dog. So that was the 8.5 by 11 sheet, and I cut it long ways this way. In the end, it still makes the same size. It's just got a different opening, which is nice. And this is going to fit right on here. This is 5 1/4 by 4, this piece of crumb cake. Okay, and there we go. We've got our saying on there with the pecan pie. And now I'm going to add this greeting. And for dimensionals, I'm going to use these bits. So when you get to the end of your dimensionals, you end up having little rows and rows like that. You still can use them. Don't throw them out. I'm bringing in a different pair of scissors because I like to save one pair of scissors for ribbon. That's why there's ribbon on there. And then they stay nice and sharp for ribbon. And then I have one pair that I use for any paper or sticky stuff. So I'm going to turn this upside down. This is the top. This is the bottom. I kind of don't want anything in the middle, because when I lay that on there, it might not stick very well to the ribbons. So basically top and bottom is all I want for these. So I'm going to stick them on there. That one I already pulled the top off. So they're an odd size, but they work fine for this. There we go. And just peel off the back. Okay, and that's going to go right here on the card. Very cute little birthday card. And then I'm going to add a little bit more ribbon. So this is the right side, so I'm going to turn it over on the wrong side here so that when I tie it, it'll be right side up again. And I don't like to cut my ribbon until I've actually tied it. For some reason, I find when I tie a bow or a knot, I like to do it upside down. It just makes a better knot or bow. Not sure why that is, but that's what works for me. So I'm just going to tie that in a knot, and it's tight enough to hold. And then I'm going to use my ribbon scissors. This is another pair, as long as I have them marked. Just cutting that on an angle. So how beautiful is that? Now, I always like to tie together colors when I'm making a card. So I've got crumb cake and crumb cake. I've got pecan pie and pecan pie and blue, but I don't have any more berry burst. So let's tie that color in. We're going to just put these guys aside and get my take a pick tool. And I've got some gems here. These they look like this. They come with white, peacock, and berry burst, and they're called Adhesive Back Sequins Trio. So I've got one already. You can see that I love them. I've used a lot of the white ones already, so I'm going to use some of the berry burst ones now. And I'm going to put these on here. I'm going to use the spatula end just because I know it works better with the sequins. A big one and a small one. Get that out of the way. And let's do here and a small one. So I hope you're making comments, even though I'm not actually there. I will certainly check your comments later. It'll help with my recovery to check out what you guys are doing. So always do odd numbers. So that's 5. Whoops. I realize I just switched views accidentally. So let me just hold that up so you can see what I just did there. I've added 5 of these sequins, and that basically ties in those colors. And I just love how juicy that looks with the blue and the berry burst. So just pop back here. So thank you very much for joining me. I will resume with draws. So please feel free to comment, like, and share. What I normally do is do a draw the week after I've made a card for the card that I made. So I will do those draws. I just can't do them live because I'm recording this prior to you guys making any comments. But I will take care of that when I'm back to work. So thank you so much for watching today and checking out my video. And I hope to see you soon. Take care. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.